From the On Target Digital Marketing Podcasting Studios in sunny Orlando, Florida, it's the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast with Tom Jelnick and Tom Craig. Happy Friday, Tom. It's so great to be back in the studio with you, man.
Likewise, Tom. Happy to wrap up another week here in Central Florida. How have things been for you?
Not too bad, man. And I'm just like, I'm giddy that we get to do the T Squared Tech Talk Podcast once again.
It makes me happy, and it's a relief to be here, Tom. I got to tell you why.
It's a relief?
It is. It is. It's been a rough week.
Break that down for me, Tom.
A friend of mine found out he's got 6 months to live. But he's going to go ahead and move in with his in-laws because, 6 months with the in-laws feels like forever. So,
wow. I don't know. Like, I feel I had empathy there for a second. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, man. But
now
right.
You realize how envious, and we'll skip over that. But regardless, I just had to share that story.
Wow, that is a powerful story, Tom. It's something that I would fear myself.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a good resolution. I could see that lasting. It doesn't even take 6 months to feel like forever for me, Tom.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
I hear that
forever.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But no. So thanks for another week that's passed, and looking forward to jumping into a good topic here today.
What are we talking about today, Tom?
We're talking about spooky stuff, Tom.
It is Halloween.
It's
almost Halloween, right?
It is. We're in October, and
it's October. It's hotter than hell outside still.
Scary.
Got mosquitoes nipping at me still, but hey, Dracula is on his way.
I tell you, everybody has different fears, though. Some people fear Dracula, some Frankenstein, some the Wolfman. Who knows? Which one is it that gets you, Tom?
You know what I don't like, Tom?
What's that?
It just scares the bejesus out of me. Spiders.
Yeah?
Hate spiders.
Yeah?
And I have this really weird fear that there is going to be a spider in bed with me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That's no, it's not.
But it's happened to me before. That's why.
No. Oh, yeah?
Yes. So I lived in a cabin in the woods at a retreat center, and there were a copious amount of spiders, Tom, and I woke up one morning with bites all over my stomach, and a spider bite itches like you wouldn't believe. And so I think it's a legitimate fear.
Huh. Well, that's well-founded. See, my wife has a fear of spiders, but no stories to tell like that. So I know when I hear from the other room, Tom, it means that there's a spider and it's time to come eradicate said spider.
So are you, how do you take them out? What's your poison?
Just a paper towel and a very quick swipe. It's got to be quick because the wife is freaking out.
Sure.
We don't want her passing out.
Yeah.
And if there's one in the car when she's driving,
that's the worst.
That's my fear.
Yeah.
Because we're all dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're behind the helm and that spider drops down from the ceiling.
I tell you. And that's not the way I want to go, Tom.
No.
So, but everybody, as I say, has a different fear. And I thought we could dive into that today and talk about people's fears.
I think we should wheel up like one of those therapist couches, Tom, and just kind of tell me all about it, Tom. Like, I know you've got a story to tell. I want to hear that story.
Well, let me tell you that story. And it feels like I should use that voice if we're going to have the therapist.
Yeah, the whole psychologist. They always a German accent, right?
Glasses or anything? Okay, put those on.
Yeah.
But no, I just... all IT people seem to have a fear. And it might not just be IT people. It might be in any industry, but, IT is the one that I know well. And what I've realized in my travels is that everybody has a fear that they're afraid to share with somebody else. Like your fear of spiders.
Sure.
But everybody has these insecurities, but they're all afraid to share them because they'll feel inferior to other people. So last weekend, I spoke out at Walt Disney World on a cybersecurity presentation.
You spoke to the mouse, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I had Goofy, Mickey, Donald, Pluto.
They were all there?
They're all there.
Daisy?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell made it.
Tinkerbell even made it. It was at the back of the room, but participated nonetheless.
Very good.
But point being, I wanted to be prepared because I had this huge fear that I was going to get some question that I wouldn't be able to answer. So my thought was to take a few cybersecurity professionals out to lunch, in the week before and talk to them about cybersecurity and maybe brush up my lingo, if you will,
Sure,
and make sure
sure.
I had all the latest, greatest. But what I realized was that they had similar insecurities in their profession that they hadn't really ever shared with anybody of what in their daily work, if you will.
Were they scared that the PC would actually run every single day?
They were afraid that somebody would actually bring a Mac into the office
Right.
and say, "Could you make this do work?" And it's like,
Is that you think? That's okay.
so.
All right.
So again, we all had this fear, and oh gosh, please don't ever let that happen. But point being, they let me know what their fears were, and we easily addressed them as they easily addressed mine. So I get to the conference, we go through question and answer time. I'm worried that somebody's going to ask me about, communications over fiber optic cable and some real in-depth question, but all the questions were very, generic and security related. But so my fears were really alleviated by discussing this with the people beforehand,
Right.
through that week. And through those discussions, I found out that they had their fears as well that we were able to work through. So it was really kind of neat.
Very therapeutic, Tom.
I tell you.
I
Well,
feel a lot of zen coming from you.
yeah. Well, I tell you, I felt very Zen-like afterwards, because it's important that you surround yourself with a group of like-minded people
Right.
that you can bounce these ideas off of, and also know that it's not just in IT, but in any profession, we're not going to know everything.
Right.
There's going to be somebody else to come along and or a new technology, and it's just impossible to keep up with the full details on everything.
Yeah, and how to reboot that PC every time it crashes.
Or how to keep that Mac secure. I
Right.
mean, there's a full-time job right there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you keep the Mac secure.
So, but that's a road we're not going to travel down. That's a
You're
future
scared to go
podcast.
down that road. There's that fear again, Tom.
That fear is that chip on that Apple motherboard from China.
What's wrong with China?
They're taking our information, Tom.
What are they doing with it?
Here we are blaming the Russians, but it's all going to the Chinese.
Is it all rigged?
They're duplicating our information and they're taking our work.
They're going to make mini Toms.
I could only be so lucky to have a few mini Toms.
You want
running
some more
around.
of me? Is that what you're saying?
I would. I'd love to have a couple mini Toms just helping me with SEO. And,
Sure.
And hey, mini Tom, run off and handle WordPress for me. And
Yeah.
mini Tom would go off and just make our
And
site
make it
wonderful.
happen.
I tell you.
Yeah.
Can you do that, Tom? Could you set that up for us?
How do you think I run this business?
Well, I'm learning. So, but all that to say, Tom, that as we're saying, surround yourself with a good group of people.
Sure.
And don't be afraid to discuss those insecurities because
It's okay to talk about it, Tom. I think that's what we need to know that.
it is. It absolutely is because all of us don't know everything. There's a guy, Louis Lebel with Cirque du Soleil. He was one of their top IT guys, just a really brilliant mind. But he kept these little bugs all over his computer, these little plastic bugs.
Okay.
And I thought that was a little
Weird.
strange.
Yeah.
But what that
I mean, buggy, PC, it all makes sense. It works.
You see where I'm going
Yeah,
with this?
I do.
But no, he labeled that out. He put those on there so that would remind us that there's flaws and insecurities out there that maybe we don't always know about, but they have to be addressed.
It's like you got to celebrate the crazy, Tom. Am I right?
It certainly seems to be that way.
Yeah. We've all got a little bit of crazy in us, some more than others. Maybe the in-laws. I mean, well endowed with it, if you will.
When it comes to craziness and in-laws, that's a whole different level, right?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of the nuclear version.
And we've got the holidays coming up, which means Aunt Sally, Uncle Joe, they're all coming over.
Coming down. They're going to bring
scary.
that Jello mold. Remember the green, the slime. Yeah.
And with the things in it, that's what always got
like
me.
those
the Jell-O's
chunks.
Cool, but what is the weird shaped one in there?
That schmutz. What is that?
Don't get it. Don't understand that at all. So so there's my fear.
And they're always bringing giblets, Tom. I don't even know what a giblet is.
I I steer clear of that. If it comes in a bowl that I recognize as my mother-in-law's, you can guarantee I'm steering
Not
clear
touching
on
that.
one. Yes, sir. That's getting passed right on down to Uncle Joe.
You brought up a support group, and I think you're onto something there. That's really critical. One of the things that, like even at my space, in the more creative space, it's they have the secret sauce. Don't want to give away the secret sauce, and that's a load of crap. If I'm being honest, Tom.
Yeah, that's right. And you're right. I know you run a content support group,
right,
for your industry, and it's the same with IT people. They're all very transparent. As I said during this presentation last weekend, that we would much rather help you beforehand and give away the secret sauce, if you will, than to have to come in afterwards and clean up the mess on the floor with all kinds of different sauces, and we don't even know what sauce
with the giblets.
Yes. And then we hope that we can get your data back and that it remains secure through that process.
Right.
So
you want to talk about anxiety?
I tell you. So, you look at companies like SANS, you look at companies like NIST. They are putting out loads of information for IT folks to disseminate to the employees of the organization. And it's all free because it's the same thing. We'd much rather handle things on the front end than on the back end because it's much messier coming out the back end.
Tom, speaking of in-laws, coming out the back end. Wow.
Don't even know where to go with that one, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to hit the rewind button on that to take that mouth back. Listen, I've got a great example of something that I witnessed last weekend. I happened to be, a lot of times I'm being asked to speak, and there was a particular show that I was at where for once I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be on stage. I just want to enjoy. And I did. And I went to a couple great presentations on podcasting, on photography. I wanted to learn. So one of the presentations I went to was a great guy, Scott Mann, runs High Forge, which is another digital marketing agency in Orlando. But I sat through his presentation. One thing he did not talk about when he was talking about digital marketing was podcasting. And a lady at the end of the presentation stands up and says, what about podcasting? This is what I love. Scott goes, I don't know a damn thing about podcasting. That's why I wasn't in the presentation. And I was just like, I love that honesty. Like he didn't try to fake it till he made it. He named it and claimed it, Tom.
I tell you, that's beautiful.
He just hasn't embraced podcasting yet and didn't want to talk about it yet because he doesn't know anything about it. So anyway,
that's beautiful. I mean, because again, he's not trying to hide behind something he doesn't know. Just throw it out there. Look, I don't know that. If you need to know that, you'll have to ask somebody else, possibly in that discussion or that panel.
Yeah, it's the whole stay in your lane thing.
Absolutely.
And I see a lot of professionals that really try to be all things to all people. They come out, oh yeah, we'll take care of that. We'll bing, bang, boom, and we'll change this and modify that. And yeah, we're experts at that. And when they can't deliver, that's when they get a bad name. That's when they get a bad reputation.
Yep, I tell you. Well, I spoke of our presentation last weekend. My fear was the Q&A afterwards, being asked one of those questions.
Did you have pants on, Tom?
I didn't, because I find it takes the pressure off.
It does.
That way.
It does, doesn't it?
It lightens the mood.
It's very freeing.
I tell you, it makes them not look at your hair that way.
Yeah, and the breeze feels so much better.
Yeah. So I got nothing for that, Tom. I'm just going to steer clear of that and move on down the road. So I'm fearful of this Q&A session. The questions are coming. I'm fearful that it's going to be some deep, twisted fiber optic question or something. And
I hate it when my fiber optic gets twisted.
I tell you, everybody does. It'll break. Point being that. See, again, I got nothing. But the point being that the question that I was asked was, which is the best firewall to use?
Sure.
And the gentleman had a story behind it that his IT person had told him that the firewall that he purchased was just as good as any other expensive firewall. It was a less expensive firewall, a Best Buy type brand, if you will.
Sure.
And he said that this is just as secure and will keep everybody out of your network. And he said, is that true that a firewall will keep everybody out of my network? And I said, absolutely not. And he said, well, should I have spent more money? Well, yes, you can spend more money on a different firewall, which is going to come with more features and functionality to let you know the traffic that's traversing your network and who's doing what. But ultimately, it can be breached.
Sure.
So
by the in-laws, am I right?
No firewall can keep out the in-laws, Tom.
But those pack of Wolverines are doing a damn good job.
I tell you. But point being, he said, so which firewall will keep everybody out? And the answer that I had was, there isn't one.
Right.
And what I should have said was, there isn't one, but it's not about keeping everybody out. It's about keeping yourself safer than the person next to you.
Yeah.
And because I don't have to be faster when I'm over in the jungle running from the lion. I just have to be faster than the in-laws, Tom. So, as long as you're more secure
Do
than
they
the
have the
person
cane
next to
or the
you,
walker? Because I just got a vision in my head.
I'm praying that
Yeah.
it's not the wheelchair, because then I'm behind pushing.
Yeah, valid. Right.
And then it's me who's going down.
Then you start pulling that wheelchair.
I tell you,
And oops, I let go.
push it down the hill and start racing, Tom. May the best man win.
Your poor in-laws.
So I tell you, well, I said that. I said that the day I married my beautiful wife. But, but regardless, so that's the case. Is that again, the insecurity there was on the firewalls, and the answer is just making yourself a little bit better, keeping cognizant of what traffic is coming and going, and making yourself better than the person next to you, or the in-laws, as the case may be.
But even with that, Tom, I mean, we talked about this a little bit. Everything, whatever profession you're in, there is so much damn information being disseminated daily, whether it's about firewalls, about marketing, about SEO,
Yep.
about alpaca training,
It's out there.
fire ant eradication, like we talked about
Yeah.
a few episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
There is information out there everywhere. And I think, honestly, a professional's job today is to be able to filter information and know what's important and know what's BS, and find that, stay away from that fake news, right? So
Exactly.
you're looking for the validity. But I think a true pro today that wants to keep learning just really keeps refining the filter.
I think
Does that
you're
make
right.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's as you said earlier, it's about knowing your audience. Knowing what your customers' needs are, knowing what the culture and the climate is out there in the world, and being able to adapt to accommodate your clients' needs through all these changing variables. So
Yeah, it's being that really flexible person wearing spandex. Am I right?
I've got nothing. You
don't have any spandex,
No,
Tom?
thank the Lord, no.
Yeah,
Tom.
I am
But
thankful for that.
If
I might say
I'm
a
just
few
happy
prayers.
there weren't more cameras back in the mid '80s, because then we'd had the spandex leg warmers, headband
Yeah,
pictures with
yeah.
the perm.
I'm sure if I dug enough, Tom, I could, we might be able to pull some of those pics up from you.
Well, I'm
from back
happy
in
to
the
say
day.
that I never sported the perm, but my
Oh, you
older
didn't?
brother, look out. The
Jane Fonda days, right?
Man, just ugly. The Tom Selleck look,
Got to get foot loose, Tom.
not a good thing.
Am I right?
Well, somebody does.
Yeah.
Somebody does. And speaking of getting foot loose, Tom,
Yeah. What do you got?
I got mailbag loose.
Did you?
Yes.
Did your sack get loose?
The mail sack is open and ready to go.
Reach deep into our mail sack.
Wow.
So who do we have today, Tom? Who's it coming from? I think
It was.
was it Derek? And
I thought it was Rick. So you're going to stick with Derek? We'll go with Derek's question.
I don't know if he goes by Derek or Rick.
He could.
Yeah.
Or derelict. Sorry, Derek.
Yep. Sorry, there.
He
Rick.
does this to me.
Yep.
So
But from Maryland, we have one today, and Rick wanted to know about getting into the IT field, and should he get his
should he?
A+ and Net Plus certifications?
Does that make you help fix computers that are PCs?
That's PCs and Macs, Tom.
It is.
That's the basic root of how they work.
Interesting.
Yep. So my suggestion to him would be, there's enough information out there on the internet right now for these books for the C+ and A+ certifications. So what I would say is go out there and get a book that will direct you. And if the book doesn't make sense,
Like
then
PC
perhaps,
for Dummies.
exactly. If you can't understand PC for Dummies, the odds are you've got to go take that class, right? But if it all makes sense to you and you could have written the book yourself, then maybe you could just accept that as experience that you have and move on towards some other training, like cybersecurity training, Cisco, something like that. But no, it's definitely good to get your certifications, but know where you're at,
Right.
because that's not it. Just having the skills these days and the background equal the certification in my eyes. So Rick, take that and run with it if you will. But definitely go out there and try to get something to better your career and some sort of certification, because employers certainly do like that.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Derek, I don't think it would suck to have that. So, I think always educating yourself, always striving to get those certifications. I think one way or the other, you're going to rise above the competition, or at least stand out. So from a marketing standpoint, Tom, I think it'd be great for Derek to have that certification. Looks good on a resume, damn it.
Absolutely.
And on LinkedIn, if you can get into it, because it's run by Microsoft.
That's right. Well, and it's the same thing as the tiger analogy. It's not about being the best. It's about being better than the person next to you.
That's right.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. So fantastic. So
Man, Derek. And how's your sack now, Tom? Are we back adjusted?
we're back and it's empty now, Tom. We're feeling better about it.
Thank God.
Yep. So
well, thank you so much, Derek, for writing in from it was Maryland. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that
Wow.
it was. I don't know where though. I know the area kind of well. Hopefully it's Annapolis, because that certainly is.
It's a nice neighborhood.
It is.
Is it?
It is. It's the waterfront there, the sailboats.
Yeah.
How can you not like that? Peaceful.
Very peaceful. Very serene. And with that, our conversation about fear, Tom. Might be coming to an end.
We've come from peaceful. We've ended up at peaceful and serene, coming from our fears. So see, everybody's feeling better. We didn't even need the sofa or the horrible accent
or the in-laws. We didn't need them here.
Thank
They're
heavens.
always wanting to get involved, Tom.
Thanksgiving's coming, Tom. Lock the door.
What's your strategy with that? Do you get them? Do you get them a little liquored up? What do you do?
I'm hoping for a business meeting somewhere out of town this year.
Yeah, we can only hope. But otherwise, there's always NyQuil that you can slip into their gravy.
I was going to say, is it for me or for them?
Yes.
I don't know, but either way, I'll take it.
But can you imagine? It's not the tryptophan, Gertrude. Why is Uncle Al sound asleep on the couch again?
Exactly. Thanks for the tip, Tom. I'll be using that one.
Not tryptophan, it's NyQuil. I love it.
All right.
Hey, until next week, folks, always a pleasure, always a blast. Tom, where can folks find out about you?
We are on the internet there at advancedsystemssolutions.com.
I'm glad you said you're on the internet. That's great.
Yeah. It took us a few years.
Yeah.
But I think that thing is going to stick around.
It might just
It's
make
starting
it.
to catch on.
Yeah.
My website's not, but the internet is.
Well, I can help you with that, Tom.
No, well, I'm going to be looking towards that, and we'll be talking soon.
So you can find us at ontargetdigitalmarketing.com. And thank you guys so very much. Have a great spooky Halloween if we don't talk to you sooner. Take care.
This podcast was recorded at the On Target Podcasting Studio.